Forget all the standard art forms. Don't paint pictures, don't make poetry, don't build architecture.
What's up YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about how to find your creative inspiration and the steps I personally take when taking on a video project. Alright, so first thing first, I want to give a shout out to a friend and a fellow content creator, Justin James. You can check out his channel up here. Here's the link at Justin James TV. He recently released a video, I believe it was vlog number 4 for him, talking about how to pull yourself out of creative ruts. And his video got me thinking and made me want to expound upon his subject a little bit and give my personal take on how I find inspiration and tips and tricks of how maybe it can help you get inspiration and get things back on the right track. So the first thing first is, depending on what you're going to shoot, I mean, you can be inspired by anything. Inspiration's all around you, whether it's landscapes or whether it's music or movies, TV, people. You just have to really hone in on that. And the biggest thing is reducing your stress level. If you're anything like me, you have hundreds of ideas spinning around in your head all the time. I watch a lot of movies, and no matter whether you're filming something like this, a simple tips and tricks video, a vlog, or you're filming a short film or even a bigger video project, perhaps even a wedding video for a client, you can watch movies and you can take their scene structure, you can take the way they're telling stories or even their cinematography, and you can integrate that into your videos, even if they're just something as simple as, let's say, a tutorial or a tech review. You know, you can light your scene more dynamic the way that you saw on, let's say, Gone Girl, for example. It might be a little bit dramatic, but you know what? You'd have the best damn looking tech review on the planet if it was lit like Gone Girl. But regardless, so movies are a big one. You can take tons of inspiration from there, and that's an easy one. That's a given. A lot of people know that. The next thing you can do, other than watching videos, say like on YouTube, say you want to do a opinion video, so you go to the trending list on YouTube and you find out what's trending, like let's say all the ongoing marches and protests, and you want to weigh in on that. You would find somebody that's giving their opinion on that, and you would disagree, make your own video disagreeing or agreeing with what they're saying. That's another way you can get inspiration. And sometimes that works in viewership. I've seen a lot of YouTubers, they'll get on there and they will just, you know, agree or disagree with whatever. You know, the big thing was when Casey Neistat stopped his daily vlogging, a lot of YouTubers played off of that and gave their take on why he shouldn't stop daily vlogging, or they agree with why he stopped daily vlogging, and they got a lot of views from that. The second thing, I believe, most important thing, is reading. I don't read as often as I would like, but reading, it's kind of the same as watching movies. But to me, it's a little bit better for inspiration because those words are written. A movie you just watch, and sometimes you forget what's happening, but when you're reading, you can go back and you can reread those same words over again. And just a quick book I have offhand that I think is good for inspiration and motivation purposes, and you've probably already read it. A lot of people recommend this book. It's The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And this book is actually just, it's geared towards methods of war and strategies of war, but all these little, I want to call them not excerpts, but they are basically just steps for different things. Like this is like for waging war, you know, this is like battle plans. You know, you can apply this to making videos, daily routines, exercise regimens, anything, you know, a lot of people recommend this book, especially entrepreneurs for business reading. You know, it talks about how to defeat the competition. And if you're in this line of work, video work, YouTube, you know, it's not that it's about competition, but it's about, you know, you need to have that mindset of always progressing. Okay, so the third thing I think is really important is your workspace. You need to have a comfortable workspace that's inviting, that not is only inspiring, but that's not, I don't want to say messy, because some people work in different environments. Some people have organized chaos. Again, let me use Casey Neistat as an example. You look at his workspace, which is amazing, by the way. It's clean, but it's organized chaos. He has stuff all over the walls, stuff hanging from the ceiling everywhere. And then other people, you know, you watch other people's workspaces and it's just clean, white, everything. It's just sleek and modern. And so you just need to gear your workspace to what works best for you and what you feel comfortable. I personally have 2 workspaces. I have this, which is my studio. This would be more sort of like the Casey Neistat work area where I can just hang anything from the ceilings. I can hang up photos everywhere. 1.5 of my walls out here are chalkboard paint. So when I have an idea or I have something I need to remind myself or details of something, I just write it real big on the wall, because this door behind me goes into my house, and then I have a door up here that goes into my house, so I'm constantly walking through my studio in and out these doors. So I always pass by this wall here, which is the one with the chalkboard paint on it, so I can always see these big reminders here. My other workspace is more on the interior of my house. It's more of like a traditional study. It has another computer set up, more of a library with bookshelves and all that, and you know, it's a lot more dim. This is more a studio setup. I bring my laptop out here, and this is more mobile where I can just be as loud as I want and I won't disturb anybody. And another easy one, but you often forget, is listen to music. You can listen to film scores that automatically get you in that filmmaking mode, or you can do like I do. I hop on Bandcamp or I hop on SoundCloud and I just scroll through artist after artist. And what I do is I find tracks that I can vibe with real quick, and what I do is I buy those tracks from these artists, and you know, you can usually get them pretty cheap, like $1 a track, and I just fill up a folder on my computer with those. And then, you know, while I'm listening to them, I get these ideas for these scenes. A lot of my intros or my films, you know, already know what song I'm going to use because I've had it in my head by listening to these songs. I'll spend hours listening to them, you know. I already kind of pick out what kind of vibe I want. Do I want something slow? Do I want something dramatic? Do I want something that's quick? Another thing that I like to do is look at still photos. A lot of directors, a lot of cinematographers, before they even start rolling on a picture, they already have in their mind what they want their films to look like, but when they're trying to convey their idea to the other crew, to the rest of the crew, or to other people, they bring up still photos of a photographer that they found. So maybe they're writing a dramatic movie, then they'll go and they'll find a photographer that shoots these dramatic images, or maybe they're shooting something in 1980s New York. They'll go and they'll find a street photographer from 1980s New York, and they'll start showing people in the crew. They'll show the cinematographer, we need this look on our film, and that tends to work a lot in their favor. Me, personally, I have this old college textbook over photography, and it's got a lot of famous photographers in here, a lot of the masters, and it's got, you know, some lesser known ones, but nonetheless, it's got a lot of good photos in here. So I like to scroll through here from time to time and pick up, you know, a couple ideas on composition or even color schemes or textures. Like let's just take this random photo right here, for example. Just this page right here. If you can look at that, we've got this page on our left right here. That is a photo by a guy named Jacob Rees. The man slept in his cellar for about 4 years, 1890. You could make an entire movie about this guy sleeping in his cellar for 4 years, or develop a character after it. And that's not even to say that you could, you know, look at these pictures and do the same, you know. Let's see, we have down below, we have, I'm trying to find the name of the picture. It actually doesn't have a name, but this one's from 1947, and it shows kids. I can imagine that this is something dealing with civil rights and something during segregation, because it was in that time period. This is in Harlem, and has 3 little kids and their mom sitting looking outside a window. You know, that's good character development. And look at the composition. You know, you have these kids and you have them in this window, and then you have the window pane splitting down through the center. And the same with the one up top. You have the woman in the fancy hat on the left, and what appears to be some sort of government employee on the right, and she looks like she comes from money, and maybe she's being protected. Maybe that's a bodyguard, maybe it's security, I don't know. But just scrolling through these books, I mean, this book, you know, itself has 700 pages in it. So there's all kinds of photos, different kinds of lighting, different kinds of, you know, techniques that these photographers used, and a million ideas you can pick up, and a million stories in here, you know. So these are definitely a good resource. Me personally, what I do, starting out, is I get an idea in my head, and then a big resource for me after I get the idea, I write it in field notes. I have a lot of these little guys, and I love writing in these. A lot of people put ideas down in their smartphones, which I guess works, but you know, I use my phone for texting, for YouTube, for Instagram, for Facebook, for all that stuff. But I mean, this right here, this is more physical. You know, I can carry this around. I always feel it in my pocket. There's always a pen in my pocket to go with this, so I'm always reminded that that idea is there, you know. And anytime I open it up, I have lists, I have little sayings in here, anything that I feel is motivational or inspirational to help me create projects, or you know, if I need client information, I can write it down in here real quick. And that's really helpful. I mean, I don't get paid by Field Notes. I wish I did, because I think their products are amazing. These are waterproof. I'll put a link down in the description. Definitely check them out, and that's a major resource for me. So after I think of the idea, I write it in here. After that, we go to my chalkboard wall. Let me take you over here. Stuff written here. There's some video ideas written here. You know, there's some ideas written up here, and then, you know, of course, I draw from time to time on here, and then, you know, sometimes I have these sayings, like right here, I have try harder written real big, and that's try harder to get these videos put out daily instead of skipping days. So, you know, that's just a reminder. Like I said, I walk in and out of this door to that door, walking through my studio, and so I see these ideas every day, so I don't forget about them. But with all that said, I mean, honestly, what you really have to do is you just have to turn your camera on and you have to start shooting, because the bottom line is you're still trying to create content, and you don't have to worry about what other people are going to think. And that's a lot of what I've had to get over, because I'm a perfectionist and I have high standards, and it's like, oh man, Roger Deakins is my favorite cinematographer. Why aren't my vlogs looking like something Roger Deakins would produce? You know, why isn't my short films looking like something Chivo would put out? And that's because I don't have that budget. I'm not those guys. You just have to know, you have to build up to the quality of, say, big YouTubers, or, you know, even these big name cinematographers. You're not going to be that overnight. Just put out something, because if you're not putting out anything, then you're already failing your channel, you're already failing yourself, you're already failing your ideas. So my big motto is shoot first, ask later, and that is always go shoot. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait to stand around and ask questions. Just go shoot. So if my tips and ideas have helped you out at all, I would definitely appreciate it if you subscribe, you like the video, and definitely engage with me, because I like talking to you guys, and I want to know what you want me to put out. I want you to know what you like and what you dislike, and help motivate me to keep putting these out daily. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one.
The point is to make something new, something that doesn't even